A non-essential elite, presidential retreat, confidential, discreet, monumental deceit. They're not gentle or sweet, more than mental defeat. Once you enter your seat, well now you're in for a treat. The cremation of care to the creation of fear. This location is where they vacation each year. My frustration, I swear, is for the whole nation to hear. My donation to your ears, world domination is near. Listen, wealthy and well-placed are these snake-eyed hawks, unhealthy and pale-faced at their lakeside talks. I've come to warn ya, they cover their heads with hoods and dance around naked in California's redwoods. A gentleman's club equipped with good drinks and table shows. Hat legs rolled up, hook winks and cable toes. Mock sacrifices to Moloch, alcoholics frolic. Political false prophets come to pickpocket your wallet. Who? Tell me who? Tell me who? Who? Tell me who? Tell me.
Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast. Thought I'd start off with a quick story about, you may have heard this, but about the 11-year-old boy in Colorado. They got arrested for drawing a picture in school. The boy was suffering from ADD, and his therapist, who he was seeing, and then told him that if you get upset at school or something like that, instead of acting out in class, just go ahead and put your feelings down on paper and draw it out. He did this. He drew a picture of himself shooting other little stick figures, which I guess he labeled as teachers. He did this. He balled up the paper, threw it away. A teacher found it and actually sent him to the principal's office. Principal talked to him. Boy explained what happened, why he did it. Principal said, no problem. I understand. You're not a threat. Went back to class. Well, boy went about his day, went home. The school had contacted his parents, so they knew about it, and he got home, they talked about it, and moved on. And then, I guess an hour or two later, cops show up and bang on the door, pull the boy out, put him in handcuffs, haul away in a squad car, and put him in jail. Mother's not allowed to, go with him or anything. He's just hauled away like a criminal, thrown in jail. He ended up getting charged with interfering with staff and students at an educational institution, which is a Class 3 misdemeanor. So it's a minor offense, but the fact that he even got charged with anything is really kind of ridiculous. Since seeing as he didn't hurt anybody, he didn't really threaten anybody. But the police said that they were completely justified in this, and then that they were doing what was best for not only the school and other students, but for what was best for him as well. Because somehow having a criminal record at 11 for drawing a picture is what's in his best interest, even though the therapist that he's been seeing, whose job it is to make these kind of determinations and say what is good and not good for him in his condition, said that this is completely, uncalled for and will end up actually hurting the boy, to traumatize him. He's very upset. He's going to go to jail for the rest of his life. He's never going to see his family again. And this just goes to show you now how the government, this is just an example, but how, they've pushed this idea of fear into our society to the point where we're scared of 11-year-old kids that are drawing pictures that their doctors told them to draw. And we're giving them criminal records and putting them in jail because we're afraid. And we're afraid of this boogeyman, this idea that, oh my God, everybody's crazy and this boy's going to come and kill everybody. But, how many times have we had people that have drawn, violent cartoons, comics, envisioned hurting somebody in their brain or whatever, that never actually manifested into physical violence? And then, and plus, we're taught to believe that, okay, the only, we're given this kind of twofold lie here, where they go, okay, we need to be afraid because the Muslims are out to kill us. But now that's not, that's just kind of like the segue into, okay, well now it's still the Muslims and it's Al Qaeda and it's all these terrorist organizations, but they don't look like, Muslims or anything. No. Now they're your neighbor. And that's kind of what we're doing is they're transitioning over the the past 10 years or whatnot from this idea of this this dude in a cave with a beard and a turban who was this embodiment of evil, I guess you could say, for the American people for so long. And now it's shifting to now, it's, it could be anybody. Anybody could be the next terrorist. And with the school shootings that are so, so widely publicized, even though, there's accounts that in some of these cases, they may have even been government false flag attacks. But the point is, we're seeing more and more fear, to the point where we're arresting 11-year-olds, all to the, all, I think, ultimately trying to get us to where we just have no rights, because everything is going to have to be locked down for our own security. This whole freedom thing, this whole personal choice, do what you want to do, that whole thing didn't work. It's not safe. So only the government can tell you what. I mean, we're already halfway there. I mean, we've been there for. We're getting there step by step a little bit. I mean, it's silly when we live in a world where, the government tells you what foods you can and can't eat. You're not smart enough to make that decision for yourself. The government tells you what drugs you can and cannot use. It's perfectly okay to take this prescription drug that costs, however many $100, a bottle. And yeah, I mean, sure, it may kill you. It may, cause god-awful psychological effects and give you migraine headaches or leave you impotent or whatever else it may do to you. But that's a legal drug. That's okay. Marijuana, on the other hand, now that, even though it doesn't have any side effects and it's never killed anybody in documented history ever, and it's cheap and can grow anywhere, not to mention the countless industrial uses it could be used for, that's going to go ahead and we're going to make that illegal. You can't use that. Even though it may be better for you, it doesn't matter, because that's not what we want you to use. And because it's scary. And that's what, people are scared of it, and it's stupid. I mean, we're starting now to, mainly through the internet and things like this, where you're starting to see people start to wake up a little bit and see, okay, maybe this kind of status quo isn't really right. Maybe the things I'm being taught in school and from the government aren't 100% accurate, and then the news media, corporate-owned news media, aren't 100% accurate. And so you're seeing this kind of mind, global mind shift to where they're going, maybe it is better to just use some more herbal or natural remedies than some of these over-the-counter drugs. Not saying, look, there's no room for science and medical breakthroughs, because there certainly is. There's certainly times when you want real over-the-counter medicine, and you want surgeries, and you want these great things, but not all the time. You don't need it every single time you have a headache. You don't want something that's going to, over the course of time, kill your liver. Just because of a headache. When there's, you could take something else, inhale an herb that will kill your headache without leaving you with side effects. But they don't make any money off of that, and so that that's bad and that's scary, and people will go crazy when they're on these drugs or whatever, and the real kick of the matter is the drugs that really hurt people, the illegal drugs that really hurt people, the cocaine and things like this, they're brought in by the government, and then so and like opium and all this stuff, it's brought in by the government. The CIA has been documented numerous times bringing this stuff in. Once we took over Afghanistan, the opium production went from, nothing to now it's one of the largest producers in the world. And it's all coming here. Isn't that convenient? But I guess this just, I saw this story and it just made me say, here's one more thing, and it's going to be younger and younger. It's going to get to the point where they go, look, your children are safe in schools, so what we're going to, we're going to have to just, put police police in, and we're going to have to search all the students, and psychological testing and all this stuff, and it's just getting to the point where they're trying to get it so that the government can get in as soon as possible and just say, look, we need to start raising the children ourselves, because this kind of stuff, these kids that are being raised by their parents, they're turning out horrible. They're free thinkers and they have emotions, and we can't have that, And so it's ridiculous. And then I'm afraid of where it's going to go. And it's just over and over and over again. You see these examples of just the government, whether it be local or federal or whatever, doesn't matter, coming in and just blowing things so out of proportion for the good of the people. Anyway, we're going to be looking at some other stuff here in a minute, but I just want to start with that. It's so ridiculous, in my opinion, my humble opinion, that they're going to haul an 11-year-old boy for drawing a freaking picture. They're going to haul him off to jail and give him even though it's a class 3 misdemeanor, it's a lower offense, whatever. The fact that he's being charged with anything at 11 years old for drawing a freaking picture is ridiculous. It's absolutely ludicrous. And, what's next? I mean, what's next? Where are we going to start, the people that make the comic books and the movies and those things, those are extremely violent and graphic, and we're killing all kinds of people, mother, children, all that. Those people aren't, they're not ridiculed. They're praised. They get awards. Was there 6 award shows now for the freaking, Hollywood? Yeah, that's not the most ridiculous season in all television. But what about, I'm not going to get on a soapbox. I mean, just, whatever. But what about the people that actually do kill people? I mean, nowadays you get more time for a drug offense than you do a murder, But yet we're all concerned that this kid's going to hurt somebody. So we're going to go ahead and just arrest him, even though nobody really believes he's a threat. But then, okay, so this kid draws a picture that he's told to by his therapist to draw. He gets arrested. But, the boy from this last school shooting, everybody said he was crazy. Everybody knew he was insane. They didn't even talk to him. He's allowed to go through with it. Where's the disconnect there? Okay, this guy is making actual threats. Everybody thinks he's crazy. Everybody's scared of him. And, but this little 11-year-old boy, he's the threat. He's the threat. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. On a brighter note, at least, today's podcast featured music from Gemini, who's part of Conspirituality. One of my recent finds. I really enjoy their music. I enjoy their message too. So hopefully you enjoyed that little tidbit. I'm actually going to leave you with a different song, a little bit of that as well on the way out of the podcast. But check out their site, conspirituality.com. It's just conspirituality.com. I'll put a link up as well for that on our website. So hopefully everybody will check that out, buy their album. I love their music, so don't get any money for that. But if you guys happen to see this, you want to send me a free CD or t-shirt or something, I'll take it. That'd be great. Anyway, hopefully we'll be having another podcast here in a couple days I'm trying to line up a guest, actually, that I think you guys will be interested in, local artist. Anyway, till then, have a good evening.
Ever since we took the towers down with the help of demolition charges set by evil men who devil worship in lodges, Semyaza has returned to chill in a human body, assisting the government, orchestrating the Illuminati. Full circle, another dark, painful cycle, with more force than Metatron and the Archangel Michael. The apocalypse of John is like a magical pill. Wake up, the horse is once more on Capitol Hill. Modern day Romans claim they're worshiping Nimrod is a rumor. Statue of Liberty made to reflect the ancient goddess of Sumer. Knights Templars who built their new Jerusalem in Scotland. Albert Pike, Scottish Rite, Luciferian doctrine.